Alright, so this is Phantasy Star Generation 4. Once again, the fan hack that I made, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago now. I feel like it's pretty much finished, and hopefully you're picking up where the last video left off, and it is about a year later. I had kind of a break in the action here. In November 2020, I was diagnosed with 2 brain tumors, non-cancerous and non-life-threatening. In January, a couple months later, I had surgery to take them out, and my recovery actually went really well. And let's see, screen projector. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so everything went pretty well. You know, it's obviously been a journey, and the right side of my face still doesn't work all the way. Although it's a lot better, you know, than what it was, and the nerve is going to come back. Yeah, so yeah, it's been quite a ride, and I have a blog post about this, and another video on my channel here is me passing one of the hardest DDR songs, which is like really hard. And I'm 39 now, and yeah, just kind of DDR and like Ring Fit kind of gave me the I don't know, the motivation to I don't know, really push myself and really keep myself in good shape, and it like paid off in a crazy way, because I had this you know, pretty life-changing thing happen, and you know, I was kind of, you know, at least like physically, you know, ready for it, and you know, even mentally too, because it just, you know, video games help you get in that mentality of just, you know, overcoming things that are in your way, and you know, not really letting anything stop you. And yeah, so I'm very lucky, and yeah, I just figured, I don't know, I just last couple days just been thinking, wow, you know, it's been a long time. I want to finish this this series that I started, and yeah, I think it's, you know, important. I don't know, just as you you know, create something, and you know, you hope that people are gonna enjoy it. And I know everyone, you know, not everyone has time to replay, you know, an entire RPG. You know, we're about to have our second baby in April, and we're buying our first house. I'm trying to get my business back up and running, you know, since you know, the pandemic and everything has put a damper on everything, you know, pretty much in our culture and society. So yeah, so it has been quite a long time since I played or thought about Phantasy Star, but I got my notes open in another window here, and you know, we're just gonna go through it. So I figured this was good. I saw where I left off, and it looks like it's pretty much like the dome ship here from Phantasy Star 3. I mean, this ship probably wasn't from Phantasy Star 3, but oh, did I do this already? Well, we'll find out. Oh, and I gotta bring the maps up too. Forgot. Gotta bring the maps up, so I don't wander around like a total idiot and waste our time in the stream. I don't watch streams or ever stream myself, so I'm kind of like, man, how do people fill these giant blocks of time, you know, for hours upon hours, you know, streaming games? But I will do my best to keep things interesting. Like, for me personally, you know, I'd rather I don't know, I'd just rather like play through, you know, RPG. If there's something I really want to play, you know, I just feel like I'll make time to play through it, although that time is, you know, free time is less and less, you know, now with more and more life responsibility. Yeah, so again, I understand, you know. That's why I wanted to do this stuff, and I don't really care about streaming anything live, because I really just wanted this as kind of like an archive, you know, to be like, hey, you know, I did this thing, and you know, here's a record of, you know, why it is what it is, and you know, that's really about it. So I guess we'll see real quick if I was here already. I don't think I was. Oh yeah, see, so here we go. Yeah, so let's see. So I'm gonna look up. Let's see. Sorry, so I gotta get another window up here. cutting her floor up. Here we go. Yeah, so I think it's really, just right off the bat, she's like, move over! I just, find that really funny, because Rika's not really been established as that kind of, like, you know, as that kind of woman, as that kind of character yet, but, I like how she just, like, kind of takes charge here, and she's, you know, excited to do it. So yeah, so none of this dialogue is pretty much the same, you know, I'm looking at what the original is. Yeah. Oh yeah, so in the original, it's not. He's kind of like questioning, like, you know, like Paul exploded 1,000 years ago. I can't tell if he's asking a question or like he didn't know like how long it's been or what his reaction was. So I changed that a little bit. Yeah, and I made, you know, the old one is, yes, I learned about it at the academy. You know, I just wanted to make it a little more, you know, colloquial. Thought that would just suit him better. So here's our nice little history lesson. Yeah, so this is about the same. I changed crash to collided. Like, that's about it. It's like vestige. It's a good word for Rika. And yeah, same thing. He's like, but there were people that were able to escape! Exclamation point in the original. So I couldn't tell if he's asking that as a question or he's exclaiming. So yeah, I figured this would be a little more, you know, seemingly what they're going for here with the dialogue. Yeah, and instead of making that redundant, but there were people that were able to escape. According to the record, some people were able to escape. Like, you know, that just could be cleaned up, you know, if you have, you know, the time to edit this stuff, which of course, you know, the original people at Sega did not have time to extensively, you know, edit this. Yeah, this is about the same. Yeah, and he was like, they all died? So I changed that to something a little more sympathetic. That should actually be a capital "the," because that's a new sentence even after the ellipsis. So, this is my last revision, and that was in the original. That's part of why we never caught it. But yeah, that should be a capital "the" because it's a new sentence. Then early Palmans. Oh yeah, so in the original he says, then that means all Palmanians perished, which is Armenians is terrible, so that alone we have to change. Yeah, so I wanted to make it like, obviously, you know, you're not going to know a lot about the lore if you just start with Phantasy Star 4, and it's not really even clear in the originals. It's never really said that, like, the, you know, humans or, you know, Palmans, you know, from the planet Palma, and you know, moved to colonize the other worlds. It's more obvious in Phantasy Star 1, but, you know, not really in 2, because, you know, Palma's already blown up, and Motavians have obviously, you know, humans, Palmans have taken over Motavia, basically, and the Motavians are, you know, just like a weird, you know, kind of marginalized race. So I wanted to make it clear that, you know, humans are Palmans, because I don't think that really comes through in the original. And I think all this is pretty much the same. Obviously just changing Algo to Algol, like it was in Phantasy Star 1, and that's a real solar system. So yeah, so she said it looks like tens of ships. I just changed it to about a dozen, just because you don't say tens a lot. You know, it's just not as common. So, you know, I just made that last sentence a little more flowery. Because they usually just said they're still continuing their flight somewhere in the universe. You know. Is there treasure in here? look up maps. Phantasy Star 4. I use on I think this is from Game FAQs and Fantasy Anime, RPG Classics, Game FAQs. Yeah, someone named maps. Someone named Starfighter76 is really awesome because they made maps for like all these RPGs, and they're real simple, and they show you where, you know, the treasure is and everything. So pretty handy. Pretty handy. Let's see, there's not much in here except ceramic armor, which would be nice. So let's see if we can make our way there. First floor. Where are we? Oh, that's the basement. Yeah, if you notice, I just don't have room for the green screen in here anymore, and in fact, we're about to move to our new house, so we can't really be doing all that silly stuff. So I've got some neat posters in here, so maybe at our new, however I have my new setup, I'll be able to show them off a little bit more. I've got a bunch of original Working Designs posters. I'm a huge Working Designs fan. As I probably, you know, as I mentioned on here, there's a Working Designs flavored patch and a purist patch. And the Working Designs one is 99% similar. There's just a couple lines here and there that, you know, people expressed like a little displeasure with, or, you know, which is totally fine. I know, like a lot of people, you know, I would say are just want, you know, as close to the Japanese, you know, original experience as possible. And there's, you know, people have the kind of mindset where, you know, there's a lot of room in the translation, and you want to give more like a similar experience, which requires different, you know, wording, you know, oftentimes, you know, to an English speaker, or to the new speaker. But, you know, I'm kind of past the point of like really worrying about it that much. I, you know, have a style that I, you know, just like a writing style that, you know, I've had for a long time and I'm comfortable with, and you know, I've been able to do, you know, professionally, you know, oftentimes. So, you know, just like stick with style that you like, and it's fun to debate this stuff, but, you know, you don't have to feel like, oh, I must be proven right, or, you know, I must find the direct true answer to everything. Did I get all this stuff? But I just didn't, I guess I did. Well, that was the only thing I really wanted, the ceramic mail. It looks like I got it already. I must have just taken a little bit of time to level Rika up a little bit. Obviously, I don't remember. So let's get that out of here. There's just a ceramic shield and knife, and I have those in my possession already, so yeah, so I must have just done this already. So this was kind of a good just catch up, you know, and yeah, and to you know, obviously it's, you know, a decade from now no one's gonna care that there's a year gap between these videos, but you know, obviously it's important, you know, for me as part of my story here. Wow, we're having some problems here. Oh, come on. There we go. Yeah, so, oh, this Phantasy Star poster back here, which, really love. It's, oh. What am I doing? I don't remember where to go. We'll figure it out. I think that was the cave down there to the left, isn't it? Probably is. What other maps do we want to open up? If I had my map of Octavia is right over there in my Japanese Phantasy Star 4 box. I'm sure I mentioned it before on here, but you know, EverDrives are pretty amazing. You know, emulators are pretty amazing. You know, just for me, I try to do everything on original hardware as much as possible, and instead of buying like repros, which has, you know, become like a popular thing. You know, I don't know, last 10 years, I guess. You know, it's not that hard to make your own cartridges, like, once you know how to do it. And, you know, it's a fun process to learn and to kind of do and everything. Yay. Oh, this guy. Yeah, so he's just like an awkward, like, weirdo, you know, in the original, and so obviously I wanted to keep him an awkward weirdo, so... But I just made him, you know, more flustered. Yeah, and I thought this was worth, you know, this is one of those party asides that was worth, following up on a little bit. I thought, you know, a little missed opportunity in the original. And ironically, I wrote that before I had brain tumors, so I'm glad that's in there. Yeah, I'm, you know, very inspired by the Toon Lunar games, you know, on Sega CD especially. And, yeah, again, I probably mentioned this in the earlier videos, but, you know, I don't think the game has the exact same flavor, but I feel like the you know, the style of the game, the dialogue that was already here and everything, lends itself to that more conversational dialogue, much more than, like, you know, Square RPGs or Enix RPGs, or, like, the Shining Force games, for instance. Yeah, obviously I added that. I don't remember if that's in the Purist patch or not. Oh man, what is he selling in the original? Oh my god, see, it's been so long since I did this. I'd have to look at it. He's selling something for his, you know, for his family, and he's far away. And then you meet his family later on, too. So, I can't remember. Maybe in the Purist patch, I have been selling pillows, or... Oh, I can't remember. But yeah, so I did notice that there's no graphite stuff, you know, in this, oh, speaking of graphite, let's equip that. And we're gonna need some armor. Not from this one, because this one sucks. Yeah, there's really nothing in this market as big as it is. Yeah, I don't think I had references to Can Jam in the Purist patch. Yeah, which again, I'm sure I added, but, you know, I just thought it'd be funny to have, like, a game that, like, the kids are all playing, and, you know, you could say it's a pop culture reference, I guess, but, you know, there's really nothing proprietary to 21st century Earth. It's a garbage can and a frisbee, so I thought it'd be okay. In retrospect, it's kind of silly and probably kind of dumb, but, you know, whatever. It's done. Oh yeah, so the I bet he probably does not say that in the original. And I don't remember how much of this dialogue is the same. But yeah, that's a Hunter's Guild quest later. You don't need to stay at the inn here because you've got a house. And there's junk and all these things. Well, I'll be the judge of that. Old guy. Yeah, I added that hope you shop or hunt, because it's like, that's all you really do in this town. Oh, and again, this exchange is a little bit different. I just thought I would make it a little more sense. But yeah, it was the same thing. She was like, I think she just says, like, you know, she caught her husband, like, hiding money. So I just, you know, wanted to add a little bit to it. Oh, I forgot she has a character portrait. Yeah, and I'm sure I finessed this a little bit to her not wanting to, you know, give anything away, but, you know, basically like, hey, you know, be careful out there. Yeah, so again, I don't remember which the original was here, but just figured again it was an opportunity to show, you know, her force of character a little bit more, and, you know, basically like, stop whining, like Arnold Schwarzenegger style. Yeah, you know, and it was fun to write. Take a look at all the dialogue in her hometown, because, you know, we're not really with, you know, her character really that long. So, yeah, it's probably not in the purist patch either. You know, singing, anyone, you know, anyone can sing to music. I don't find that, you know, pop culture-y, but whatever. I mean, it is a little bit, but... Gutter trash. It's from Street Fighter 3, Dudley. Just taunt. That's a favorite phrase of mine. Not to use really in real life, but... Oh, this is a weird exchange. Did I just keep it like that? It's like you can't really tell, like, who, if she's talking to her husband, or like the dialogue was meant for the other characters, so I just try to keep it as it was, pretty much. Yeah, 2 things you could learn in Aido. Yeah, I thought it was weird that that kid calls her brother a little brat when they look like the same age, but again, that was in there originally, so. Yeah, this is in the original, and I think I just added a little bit on the end here. Yeah, like I added that, you know, grids line. And that. My grandma was... Love my grandma, but she was a really, really bad, infamously bad cook, so... Just made me think of her when, had a chance to complain about someone's cooking. Chaz can learn. Eggs are pretty easy to make. Oh, and like, even... This is the stuff that you realize when you write, you know, like you go over the dialogue for a whole game. It'd be like, you couldn't say like, oh, this bookshelf is empty or something, because you look at the bookshelf and there's a bunch of books on it, so you have to find a different way to be like, there's nothing important here, or I don't care about these books, or something. But then when you're writing it, you can't remember if there's an empty bookshelf like somewhere in the entire game, so you can't necessarily, you know, assume that either. So here's the guy we saw earlier. I'm sure this is probably a similar exchange. Here's our house. The one thing we could not figure out how to do, so in the original, when Alice is in your party, she says this line right here. And, I don't remember how this happened or what, but, when we were working on the code, we could not figure out how to have it just be her when she's in your party, and then have Rudy say it when he's the leader of the party. So... that's something we just changed permanently. But, you know. Look at that! Oh my god! Oh my god, I gotta take a picture of that. So I can go fix it, burn another cartridge. Oh my goodness. You know, I bet I was probably like, oh, there's an extra space between number 1, the number and period and 1, so. Ugh. That's how it goes. There's I got all the Sonic the Hedgehog comics when I was a really little kid, and there's one like mini comic that's devoted to Princess Sally's vanity, and it just makes me laugh. So I just wanted to do something with that. Yeah, and same thing. I would have liked to have had the event flag, like have Alice have dialogue. You know, here, so I just had to make it neutral for when she's not in your party, because I couldn't figure out how to manipulate the event flag. Oh well, I guess maybe that was here already. Maybe I couldn't figure out how to add more. But I guess that was, you know, that one worked fine. Always nice that you have a free place to stay in Aido. Yeah, and I'm sure I talked about this earlier, but the translation of her nickname, which is like 8-stroke, you know, warrior or something. I guess in Japanese it's like many. It just 8 is like a synonym for many. So, like the cutting room floor suggests tear into pieces, Alice. That's really long. So dismember is another valid translation of that. And I just find it really funny, because it makes her sound like a vampire or something. So that's what I went with, because it's pretty short, and it's still an accurate translation. Yeah, so she's still demented and rabid in Han's eyes, but not a ghoul. Alright, good treasure. That guy's an idiot, obviously. Okay, we have a sword, but we need claws. Yeah, we need claws. And I bet we need an axe. Our main man here. Yep. And I think maybe that's it. I love how in Phantasy Star, like a two-handed weapon ups your defense. I always really like that. I don't think it's in Phantasy Star 1, but it's in 2. 2's the first one that I played on Genesis. Yeah, which I think makes a lot of sense. But I don't know, there's a lot of, there's a lot of things in these old games that just other that like this game did, that game did, and no one ever, did the same thing. I'm trying to think of some other examples from RPGs. I'm sure you can think of many. Alright, Han should have shields. Yeah, he needs another graphite shield. So do not need his knife. Do not need that shield because it's too heavy for him. Unless I changed that. I don't think I did. I changed a couple shields to be equipable by like mage kind of characters. Because like logically, if something is like really light, that's the point of like they can't carry, they can't use like heavy, equipment like Rune and Raja and Han. But there's no reason they can't use like a like a laser shield or something. So outside of like for you could. Maybe they did it for game balance, but there's no logical reason, that I could think of, so. Another graphite shield. Yes, sir. And another ceramic mail. Right? Titanium. I need 2 more. It's expensive. Yeah, we'll buy another. I don't think there's any better armor coming up, right? Yes, look at that defense. Yeah, his attack sucks so bad, and his defense is so bad. I don't see the advantage of giving him any kind of weapons, personally. Okay. I'll just sell what she's got equipped. And that should get us how much? Oh my goodness. Well, don't need that amount of meat. One Meseta. Have you ever just had one Meseta in this game? That's safe. Alright, we got our goods. Let's reassess how strong everybody is. He should be in charge still, I bet. Yeah. Titanium needs ceramic helmets. He didn't have ceramic helmets, did he? I don't think so. Oh, he does! Oh no! Alright. More money. More money. Alright, let's see if there's anyone to talk to here. Otherwise, before we go through that cave and really get cracking with this game. Yeah, I added that line, as you can imagine. Because, like, what else? What other crime would there be in a, you know, big, like, merchant city? I don't remember if that's in the original. Oh, hey, buddy. Woolly boy. Yeah, I don't remember what he's in jail for in the original. Protect Kyle and Lunar. Kind of runs like protection racket to get through the Nanza barrier. Oh, we were here already. I think that one... Yeah, let's go to that one real quick. The big bar. Oh, that's the jail. Yeah, so you know, I'm not into speed runs, you know, personally, in video games. Especially RPGs. I just really like when I replay a game like this. You know, I really want to re-experience the dialogue and really feel immersed in the game. See the one about unlimited lives? No. Oh my god. What else is on the wall here? I think that's the same. Yeah, change that a little bit. Like be like a library. Oh, so here's the Hunter's Guild dialogue, finally. So I made some changes to hers. I have the cooking class thing. I'm pretty sure that's in the original toothpaste. So I just added, like, well, that's random. Yeah, clearly I added that. I'm not sure what troops Zio really has. I don't really understand that they cross the bridge and then, you know, they go to, like, his fortress or whatever, but, you know, it's not like he really has, like, an army, so I don't really get it. I mean, Rika's outfit is pretty ridiculous, but... yeah. But, like, commenting on it is even, you know, sillier if you're that guy. Someone was like, in... oh, he said that already. Yeah, one of the early comments I got was like, well, Alice tells him that, you know, oh, but these people, like, she gets mad at him for drinking, but when he talks about, like, he mentions partiers in the, in Piata, she's like, oh, they probably don't even know how to tap a keg. And he was like, well, that's like a double standard, or that's like bad writing or something. And I was like, no, like she obviously like drinks. Rudy is underage and on the clock, so that's why she's like yelling at him about, you know, wanting to stop at the bar, or, you know, or drink, or like goof off. Which I thought was clear, but you know, that's why things are, you know, we see things differently. Ain't got time for that. And I don't think there's really anything to do or get back here. That's nice. Obviously, I added most of that. Oh, there is something back here. Oh, nothing important, though. I couldn't remember. Yeah, I did think it'd be funny to add, you know, like, oh, you thought you were gonna, like, get something for coming back here. Because the game has additional dialogue for talking to her, you know, behind the desk. See, unlike the bartender here, he's got the same dialogue, but the game had different dialogue set aside for her if you talk to her on that side of the desk, so I figured it'd be more interesting to be like, to comment on that. Yeah, so, I don't know, just to challenge myself a little bit and make it less monotonous for the player, I massaged the Hunter's dialogue a little bit. And, like, the main game asks you, like, oh, if you're not a member, you can sign up over there. Like, why would you waste that dialogue? I don't know, I just thought it was kind of strange. Sure. Yeah, so let's do it. Oh, and then, I forgot to, turn down the job and then take it, but if you turn down the job, I just have her always say, like, oh, well, someone who, like, cares about poor farmers will maybe take this mission, or, you know, someone who cares, maybe an animal lover will, like, take this mission or something. Yeah, so again, it's like, you go through, whatever, 8 missions, and, you know, having the same dialogue every single time, you know, it's just, like, not that interesting. So, let's see if we can take the sandworm on. If you do this under leveled, it's pretty hard. So, I don't know how this is gonna go. Let's see. Well, you know what? I probably shouldn't have saved there. I'm probably gonna die now. Slash, or should you use, oh, it's just a Devon yet? Jeez. Doran is, drunk. If you didn't know. Don't kill me! Alice went first? That's not good. Oh. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, her res sucks still. Jeez. She's only like level 6. Crud. I do remember that this can be pretty hard if you do it right when you get it. Let's see, his attacks probably are the worst, so let's do a lot. Yeah, keep eating that damage, Grizz. Good job. Oh my god. Well, here, let's just use a goodie. Ooh. Please be a lot. That wasn't very much. Oh, good thing I sold that one monomate. Might have been helpful about now. Well. Let's have her healing. Alright. Okay, okay, let's see what happens. This is a battle, though. Yeah, Rika's agility is so high, but she's still so low. Yeah, there we go. It is the worst doing a battle like this, and then somebody dies, and then you feel like you gotta do it over again. Because that's so much. Look at that. That is a lot of levels. Yeah, because I haven't... I mean, not that you have to spend time leveling up characters in this game. It's pretty easy. But, you know, if you just blaze through it, it can be, it's, you know, challenging. Alright, yay. Got enough juice to warp there. Yeah. Didn't even have our nice helmets. Let's go rest up. No, that's not it. We shall. Yes, okay. Yeah, this kind of works out with my desk situation right here, because, you know, it's a lot better than it was. That you can tell, like, this part of my, part of my face, like, you know, it doesn't work all the way yet. So this works out pretty good. Oh shoot, I gotta buy the helmets. Oh yeah, what else can we talk about? Let's see. So I have a podcast called Found in Fans. Oh jeez, jerks. Oh, we're going back anyway. I have a podcast called Found in Translation, and yeah. So first couple are about my patch and another Phantasy Star, a couple other Phantasy Star ROM hackers and everything, and then started because like the PSK asked me when I was still posting there about like, oh, do you want to do like an official PSK podcast? And I was like, well, I've done 3 episodes on Phantasy Star ROM hacking, and I think I don't really have a lot else to say about it, at least that I know about or I'm interested in. Like, you know, I'd rather make this about, you know, other people's work, and especially Sega. Why do I keep doing that? Especially with the, you know, Sega games. I'm just a huge Sega fan. As you could see. Sega Shop, I'm not really a big, like, merchandise, you know, kind of guy, because I already have, going back, like, 10, 15 years, I haven't really changed in size, and, you know, I already have, like, you know, all the t-shirts and stuff that I could really want or, you know, wear. But, Sega Shop had a sale on pretty cheap shirts. They had this, a Nights into Dream shirt that was only 15 bucks, and this amazing Yakuza 6 shirt that it's got like the logo, and then the back is like one of their, it's like a full, the back of the shirt is like a full bodied tattoo, like the characters in the game have, which is like, it's pretty awesome. You know what, perhaps I should have gotten my money first. He can use one, and can she? I don't think so, just Rudy, I think. Do I have no crap to sell? I don't think so. Yeah, anyway, so the podcast has kind of been on hold for a while as well, but you know, I'm gonna try to get that going too. But if you check that out, I've got the entrepreneur spirit. Yeah, that's a little bit different. Our success is our mission. Yeah, so I came up with a bunch of slogans for the Hunters Guild, and we'll see when you do the last one. Something funny that I realized about the original, in the original version of the game, the original slogan kind of has like a little like double meaning in it that I realized and I thought was kind of funny, so I comment on that at the end when it's all said and done. After she's tried all these, you know, all these slogans out, every single mission that being different. But yeah, so I played, yeah, there's all these cool, really cool, Sega fan translations coming out, and a lot of them pretty recent, and especially on the Saturn, which makes me really happy, because the Saturn is my favorite video game system. That's a nice upgrade. Level 12. Alright, so let's go. Yeah, so I did one with the Sakura Wars Columns team. The Sega Saturn Shuro podcast with the Sakura Wars 1 Saturn team kind of inspired me to like start a podcast in the first place, because I just thought it was really interesting, the translation process and everything, and you know, how much time, you know, must go into, you know, these projects, and you know, and you get people working with each other from all over the place, you know, collaborating on these neat projects. We're probably going to have to change that. Agility should be a little different now. Yeah, Rika's probably going to finally take the lead. Let's see. Let's find out. 25. 22. Oops. Status. Is Rudy ahead of Alice yet? Yeah, he should be. Okay. I don't know what the percentages are, but, and I don't really know what other RPGs do, but I know it makes a pretty big difference in Phantasy Star where your, how your party is lined up. So, like, I don't know in, like, Final Fantasy or anything if, monsters attack, you know, the people at the front of the party more. But it makes a big difference in Phantasy Star, especially in 2, which is like ridiculously, you know, hard. In fact, what's his defense? 53? Yeah, he's still behind. And yeah, that armor puts her over the top of Rika. Cool. Well, we're all pretty even now. Good. Yeah, so anyway, I got to do, I find it a lot more interesting to do these podcasts with a little group rather than just like one person. And, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but, there's a game called Tale on Dreamcast that I had heard of before, but didn't know anything at all about. You know, never came out in English. It's just really cool action RPG that is a little like, it reminds me a lot of Knights, although it's a different universe, you know, and everything. But you know, very dreamlike, very, you know, fanciful. Yeah, so I try to look at why all these people would be into Zio in the first place. So I tried to make it, you know, in cases it wasn't very clear. you know, just reiterate what their deal is. Blah blah blah. Yeah, so Naveltail, I played through it and it's really amazing. And when I just started, I did this podcast with the team Cargadin and Esper Knight, and they've done tons of games. Esper Knight, yeah, I mean, just look at like their on our romhacking.net, their you know, IMDb basically of all the projects that they contributed to, and they were really fun. They were really cool, and you know, maybe you want to basically keep doing the podcast because it's a lot of fun to talk about people's you know, their efforts. And I haven't seen a lot of other people really devoting like websites or, you know, anything to the process of ROM hacking or the stories behind, you know, why people do it and all that. Obviously, romhacking.net is a fantastic resource, and there's a couple other sites as well that, you know, host a lot of the ROM hacks, which is awesome. But you know, I want to learn more. Want to learn more about, you know, why people do these things and, you know, why they chose this game and all that kind of stuff. So, so that's on my latest one, which is, you know, about a year old. But we don't even have to go up there. Should we though? How do you get up there? Wow, I don't even remember. Probably go right at the beginning here, like Dragon Warrior style. Yeah. Although Phantasy Star 1 did that as well, didn't it? I sure do. Oh. Oh. What? I don't remember that being here. Probably because I never bothered to go back here before, or at least in a long time. And it's not like you're gonna need it that much. I guess this is part of Zio's army that he brought up here. I mean, I don't understand what these people are kind of worthless. Sure don't do much. Hey, lady. Yeah, I think he's a little more. I think he's just confused in the original response, and it's really short. So I just wanted to make him a little more, like, you know, indignant. Alrighty, let's open our map here. Of the fortress. And there is one other thing that I did here. I added. There's you know, as you can imagine, there's a number of items that did not make it into the final game, but are still in the code. And one is the spiral slicer. Force field. Let's go upstairs. We get to hear this awesome music. Map a little bigger here so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. 2 is 8. I don't think there's anything on. Yeah, there's nothing over there on the right. Let's see if we can get away with just doing our macros here. These guys are strong. Get a little less lazy, I think. That's a lot of damage. I doubt you. It might be worth. Oh yeah, I changed Rimpa to Limpa, because you know, in Japanese the R's and L's are interchangeable, and you know, obviously it creates a lot of confusion for doing, you know, video game translations back in the day. Okay, there's that. And now we gotta jump in this hole. What do we get there? 9, number 9. Yeah, we need that. It's a Moondew. Man, it bothered me so much in the original that, you know, it's Moondew and Star Mist and Phantasy Star 2, and they changed them both to Stardew in, you know, in the English version. It's just like, why? It was so cool having Star Mist and Moondew. It just sounds awesome. And I don't know how much I mentioned it here, but you know, I've always said that people are welcome to ask me for, yeah, if you want like a custom version of the patch. And the first version of the patch that I made, you know, I called this Generation 4 because Sega canceled the remake of 4 for PlayStation 2, you know, forever and a day ago. So obviously it's never going to get made. So, yeah, I figured, well, I'll just... Phantasy Star 4 is already so good that just with like a little updating, you know, and a little more dialogue, basically, which is what Gen 1 and Gen 2, you know, are pretty much all about. They really just add, you know, yeah, they update the gameplay and everything, but it's really the added story that is cool about them, because the dialogue is so limited on, you know, in the original versions, and there's tons of dialogue in this game already, so I figured it can stand alone. So if you play like Generation 1 and 2 on PlayStation 2, and then go up here. What happens if you go down? Empty, nothing. Go upstairs. I remember getting stuck here, not knowing that this was not a dead end for... I don't remember if that was when I was a kid or when I picked it up again to do this project, but... I'd like that to be a little more obvious. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Lasers. And we got our sword. Oh, we gotta go across the thing. Yeah, that's right. And then I think we gotta take a dive at 5 to the number 10 here. Where does that go? Yeah, we need that. Laser field, or laser barrier. Yeah, so I don't remember now which shields, you know, the mage classes can use and which they cannot. I don't remember if that's one of them, the laser shield, but yeah, there's a couple of them. But you know, anything that's like a lightweight, you know, shield should be usable by, you know, those classes. So I mean, you can use like a graphite shield. So yeah, and it really helps with this game if you just give the magic users shields, because it's like in a you know, in like a boss battle, you don't really need their regular attack, and then in a boss battle, what are you gonna use? You're gonna use their magic. So yeah, what's his defense now? 61. Yeah, so it's even better than Rika's. So yeah, so you know, he's not gonna get myrtleized. Yeah, and his attack sucks anyway. So nice. Probably a little under-leveled here, but I mean the sandworm obviously helps us a lot. And I'm gonna get all the... There's a little more treasure to get. So I'm gonna get the treasure, warp out, and then we'll do our story scene. And it's been a little while, so that might be a good end of the session for us after the story part. Yeah, and also, obviously I can't remember what I, talked about a year ago on these things, but, Jeremy Blaustein, the translator and localizer of, Metal Gear Solid 1, and localizer on Snatcher, on Sega CD. He's a really awesome dude, and, he does so much work. I'll go get the Diamond, because why not? He did so much, like, research and work on his own, and, he just really put, like, his heart and soul into Metal Gear Solid 1, and the game, would have been awesome and successful, I think, in America, but not as successful nearly, and as, regarded, as well regarded as, if he didn't put all that work into it. I think he worked on Symphony of the Night as well. Yeah, so if you read his story about how long it took him to do Metal Gear Solid 1, and, like, the military books that he wrote, and the military, like, terms that he invented that are used in real military now is really amazing. Oh, yeah, so that's what I did. I took out a Diamate and gave the Spiral Slicer. Put in the Spiral Slicer, so... And this is a chest that you, like in the regular game, if you play the game a bunch of times, that's a Diamate there, you're probably not, even gonna go there. And, yeah, so it saves that weird little graphic, and it casts slow like that. That's the weapon's already in the code. It just didn't have it anywhere. You couldn't get it anywhere, which is strange. So, things are gonna, happen here in the story. So I figured it would be cool to at least let the player, use it. Oh my god. Alright. Which other treasures in here? Maybe we can just go. Oh, laser claws right by the... Yeah, we can just go then. We'll just go. So we got a little extra experience. Gonna heal up. And we're gonna go see some story. Yeah, so I had the Spiral Slicer initially. Yeah, so anything... Basically, like, any cut content that you see on, like, the cutting room floor was stuff I tried to put back into the game, if possible. And the items are really easy to, like, implement. They're already in the code, and you just put them in a different treasure chest, basically. So it's just really easy to do that. And, the Spiral Slicer with its default stats, I think. I can't remember if I raised the attack or if I had to do that, but, basically, like, Kyra doesn't really need it. Did I save it? Usually I save pretty automatically, but I don't know if I did. Oh, and you might notice they're, like, Devoned with the D at the end. I mean, there probably is a way, but it would be very complicated, much more complicated to make the spells longer that the players can use. The techniques and the skills, magic that players can use. It's a lot harder to make those longer. The enemy skills just are automatically a lot longer. So I could use the full name of the spells as they are in the Japanese and as they are in like Generation 2, especially the technique names. And there's a way you can make even like the characters. You can make the characters' names longer than 4 characters, but yeah, again, it's you have to move the size of these text boxes, and it's a lot more challenging. And me not being a programmer and me relying on other people for the programming help, I didn't want to make things like too hard on them, because I mean we're all doing this for free, and like some people just have a hard time, I think, like understanding this stuff. Like the no, I don't want to get into it, but another project that I'm on, or that I was on, that I was helping with, the main programmer, so we're kind of handcuffed by you know, his expertise and his availability. He was basically mad that, like, someone didn't want to retranslate, like, an entire game, like, from scratch. So, you know, I was like, well, we can fix, you know, the stuff that's, like, you know, really wrong with the existing version of the fan translation. We can just fix that, you know, not needing a translate. Oh, let's get her up a level. We can fix all that pretty easily. And, because there's a lot of problems with this translation. Man, we're taking a lot of damage. Marika is at least. Hope we can handle Jews out okay. Oh, damn. There we go. Cool. Let's see. He hasn't used much of this. Yeah, so he really wanted this person to retranslate the entire game, and, you know, we're just like, that's a lot to ask of, like, another human being to, like, do that all for free, you know, when we have lives, and, you know, that's just a lot. So I try to keep it, you know, realistic and be like, okay, we have a spreadsheet of all the dialogue from the first time you guys did this. You know, let's flag the most important, you know, spots of the translation that you know, we all feel strongly we want to tackle. All right, here, jerkface. And Juza. Yeah, he doesn't have much to say, so I didn't feel any need to add on to it. Yes, and Devin? No Devin yet. Yeah, so Rimit and Rimpa, like, kind of obviously those should be Limit and Limpa. Limpa being, what do those do? I never use those. Yeah, there we go. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. You have shift, but I'd rather just use a vortex. Now I'm nervous if he does that again. Should we just try to steamroll him? I feel like that's a bad idea. Makes me nervous to try to get greedy. You can still use it. His defense for techniques is pretty strong. Burn to get res. We'll use one too. Had a lot of damage. Oh yeah, she's got the spiral slicer now. Yeah, so, you know, we might as well give her a really nice weapon while she can use it. Now let's go back. Let's get down to it again. There we go. Skill death. Alright. As you probably know, our hit points don't matter that much here. Ugh, I'll be right back. It's been a while. Alrighty, here we are. You know what I think will make things easier? I'm gonna stop this episode here and then just start another one because I've got the time to do it today. So, yeah, so I'll